And United Airlines is raising its checked bag fees. The price for each bag will be $10 higher, $45 for the first and $55 for the second, plus an additional $5 for luggage checked within 24 hours.
You know this thing? This little metal box, the baggage sizer. It's an airline's secret weapon designed for one reason, to turn your dream vacation into a nightmare of fees. They are betting you'll overpack. They're betting you'll get flustered at the gate. And they are absolutely betting you'll just give up and hand over your money. It's a business model that feeds on your stress. Just recently, baggage fee revenue for airlines has climbed into the tens of billions of dollars annually, and those numbers keep going up. Airlines are in the business of making money, and your luggage is their golden goose. But what if I told you that you could pack for any trip, for any length of time, in a bag that looks this small, and never pay a single baggage fee again? What if you could walk onto any flight for the rest of your life with the quiet confidence of someone who has cracked the code? In this video, I'm going to show you the exact packing strategies, the gear, and the mindset that airlines hope you never discover. We're not just talking about packing light, we're talking about packing smart. We're going to focus on the one piece of luggage that is still, for the most part, your right to bring for free, the personal item. I'll show you how to turn this small, underseat bag into a bottomless Mary Poppins-style carry-all. By the end of this video, you won't just know the rules, you'll know how to work the system. You'll have a step-by-step playbook to keep your money in your pocket and make the check-in counter a place of victory, not defeat. Let's get started. The personal item revolution, your secret weapon. First, let's survey the battlefield. You've got three main types of luggage: the checked bag, the carry-on, and the personal item. The checked bag goes under the plane and almost always costs you. Then there's the carry-on, the small suitcase for the overhead bin. For a long time, this was the savvy traveler's choice. But with the rise of basic economy fares, even the carry-on is no longer sacred. Many major airlines now charge for an overhead bag on their cheapest tickets. This leaves us with our hero, the personal item. This is the bag that most passengers on most airlines are entitled to bring on board for free. There are exceptions. Some budget carriers like Spirit and Frontier will charge for everything, so always check your specific ticket. But for the vast majority, the one requirement is that your personal item must fit under the seat in front of you. And that, my friends, is where the magic happens. Airlines have defined the space, but they haven't perfected policing it. While there's no universal standard, most US airlines limit the personal item to roughly 17 by 10 by 9 inches, with some like Spirit going a bit larger at 18 by 14 by 8 inches. In Europe, the standard is often around 40 by 30 by 15 centimeters. That might not sound like a lot, but with the right bag and the right strategy, it's more than enough for a week-long trip or even longer. This brings us to the Wonder Bag. This isn't a brand, but a type of bag designed to perfectly max out that underseat space. Forget rigid hardshell cases. Your number one ally is a soft-sided bag. Why? Because gate agents and those dreaded metal sizers are way more forgiving with a bag that has some give. A soft backpack or a nylon duffel can be squished to fit, but a rigid bag that's even half an inch too big is an instant fail. That can lead to a painful gate check fee, which for an oversized bag can sometimes run as high as $100. When you're looking for your Wonder Bag, find one that matches those personal item dimensions but is built for travel, not just a laptop. Look for bags with a clamshell opening, meaning it unzips all the way around like a suitcase. This gives you full access to pack it perfectly. Bags like the Air City Pack Pro 2 or the Osprey Daylight 26+6 are amazing examples. They're built to personal item specs but pack like a real travel bag. The key is structure plus flexibility. This bag is your secret weapon. Master the art of packing, the 7 golden rules. Now that you have your weapon, it's time to learn how to use it. Having the right bag is half the battle, packing it correctly is the other half. Here are the 7 golden rules that will turn you into a packing master. Rule number 1, the 80% rule. This is the most important rule of packing. Never ever pack your bag completely full at home. You have to leave at least 20% of the space free. I know it sounds crazy when you're trying to maximize space, but trust me. A bag that's bursting at the seams is a red flag for gate agents. Plus, you need that wiggle room for souvenirs or just to make repacking on your way home less of a high-stakes Tetris game. It also saves your zippers from breaking at the worst possible moment. Rule number 2, rolling versus folding solved. People have been arguing about this for decades. Let me settle it for soft clothes like t-shirts, pants, and S. Weeder's rolling is king. It compresses fabric, minimizes wrinkles, and lets you stack items vertically so you can see everything. For structured things like blazers or collared shirts, a neat fold is better to keep their shape. The best technique is a hybrid. Roll your soft items tightly, put them in the bag first, and then lay your folded items on top. Rule number 3, packing cubes are your best friend. If you're not using packing cubes, you're not packing, you're just stuffing. Packing cubes are the single greatest organizational tool for a traveler. They do 2 things. First, they compartmentalize everything, one for tops, one for bottoms, one for underwear. No more digging through your entire bag for one pair of socks. Second, they provide amazing compression. You can squeeze a ton of air out by zipping them into a cube, shrinking the space your clothes take up. Rule number 4, the Tetris method, fill every inch. Once your main items are rolled and cubed, the real game begins. Think of your bag like a Tetris board. You've got your big blocks, the packing cubes, in place. Now fill the gaps. This is where small, soft items come in. Roll up socks, belts, and underwear and stuff them inside your shoes. Line the corners and crevices of your bag with these small items. Any empty space is a wasted opportunity. The goal is a dense, solid block that won't shift around. Rule number 5, the outerwear gambit. This is a classic for a reason. Your bulkiest items never go in the bag. Wear your heaviest shoes, your jeans, your thickest sweater, and your jacket when you board the plane. Sure, you might be a little warm for 5 minutes, but the space you save is huge. A single hoodie or pair of boots can take up a quarter of your bag. Wear it on, and you can take it off once you're seated and use it as a blanket. Rule number 6, the pillow ploy. This one is clever, and it definitely operates in a gray area. Since many airlines stopped giving out pillows, bringing your own is common. But who says that pillow has to be filled with fluff? Take a zippered pillowcase and stuff it with extra clothes, a few t-shirts, pajamas, a light jacket. Don't overstuff it to the point where it's obviously a bag of clothes. It needs to look and feel like a pillow. You can carry this on board, and most of the time, no one will look twice. It's a sneaky extra bag hiding in plain sight, but be aware that a skeptical agent could question it. Rule number 7, the liquid problem. Liquids are the enemy of the one-bag traveler. They're heavy, messy, and restricted. The solution? Eliminate them. Switch to solid toiletries. Solid shampoo bars, conditioner bars, solid perfume, and toothpaste tablets have totally changed the travel game. They weigh less, can't spill, and don't count towards your liquid allowance. For any liquids you have to bring, use a TSA-approved clear bag and reusable 3.4-ounce bottles. But your first goal should always be to go solid. Alright, if you're finding these tips useful and you're already picturing all the money you're going to save, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button. I'm always sharing new ways to travel smarter, and by subscribing, you won't miss a thing. It's free, and it helps the channel out a ton. Now, let's get back to it. Beyond the bag, next-level hacks airlines hate. Okay, you've mastered your personal item. You're a packing ninja. Now, let's get into the advanced maneuvers that play in the gray areas of airline policy. Hack 1, the duty-free diversion. This is a beautiful piece of travel jujitsu, but it isn't foolproof. Notice how people can carry a duty-free shopping bag onto the plane and it doesn't count as an extra item. This is a widely accepted practice. A clever traveler sees an opportunity here. After security, go to a duty-free shop and buy something small, a bottle of water, a chocolate bar. When they give you that branded bag, you now have an officially sanctioned extra container. You can try discreetly slipping a few items into it, a book, a tablet, or a pouch. Gate agents are trained to see the logo and often ignore the bag. Just be cool about it. If you stuff it full, you might get called out. Hack 2, the undercover crossbody or wearable luggage. This takes a bit of finesse. A lot of people travel with a small crossbody bag or fanny pack for their passport and phone. Technically, this could count as a second personal item, but if you wear it under your jacket while boarding, it becomes basically invisible. A more obvious option is a travel vest. These are jackets designed with an absurd number of big internal pockets, a trick journalists and photographers have used for years. You can load these up with heavy things like power banks or cameras. It's not a fashion statement, but it effectively transfers weight from your bag to your body, which airlines don't regulate. Hack 3, navigating the gate check gate. You've done everything right, but then you hear it. This is a full flight. We'll be requiring passengers in later boarding groups to check their bags. Panic sets in for everyone else, but not you. This announcement is almost always about overhead carry-on suitcases, not your underseat personal item. Your Wonder bag is safe, but what if they try to take it? If your bag meets the dimensions, you can politely but firmly say, "This is my personal item, it fits under the seat." This is where a soft-sided bag pays off again. They're less likely to argue with a bag that can clearly be squished down. And always remember to keep your absolute essentials, medication, chargers, passport, In a small pouch you can quickly pull out if you're forced to check it. What if you must check a bag? Smart defense. Look, sometimes it's unavoidable. You're moving, or you need specialized equipment. If you have to check a bag, the goal changes from avoiding fees to preventing damage and loss. Tip 1. Ditch the dangling straps. Your checked bag goes on a wild ride through automated conveyor belts. Duffel bags with long, dangly straps are a nightmare for these systems. They get caught, snagged, and torn. Opt for a suitcase with retractable handles and no loose parts. If your bag has straps, use another strap to cinch them down tightly against the bag itself. Tip 2. The smart ID tag strategy. Putting your home address on an external luggage tag is just asking for trouble. Instead, use a two-part system. On the outside tag, put your name, email, and phone number. For the address, just write contact details inside. Then place a business card with your complete info, including your destination hotel, right on top of your clothes inside the bag. This protects your privacy while ensuring the airline can find you if the outer tag gets ripped off. Tip 3. Get rid of old stickers. So many people make this mistake. You get home from a trip and that little barcode sticker stays on your bag like a trophy. Huge mistake. The automated scanners that route luggage are looking for one thing, a barcode. If your bag has barcodes from past trips, it can confuse the system and send your luggage to Vegas while you're heading to London. Before every flight, make sure your bag is clean of all old airline stickers. Tip 4. The pre-flight photo. Just before you hand your bag over, take a quick photo of it with your phone. If your bag goes missing, showing the agent a clear photo of what it looks like is a million times more helpful than just saying, "It's a black suitcase." It's your visual proof of the bag's condition and appearance and can speed up the recovery process. The ultimate protection: never lose your luggage again. Even with the best planning, airlines sometimes mess up. But with today's technology, a lost bag should only be a temporary problem, not a total disaster. First, make your bag stand out. Tying a little ribbon on the handle doesn't work. Hundreds of people do that. You want your bag to be instantly identifiable. Choose luggage in a bright, obnoxious color like lime green or orange. If you have a standard black bag, use colored luggage straps or even patterned duct tape to create a unique design you can spot from 50 feet away. Second, and this is the real game changer, use a luggage tracker. Devices like Apple AirTags or Tile trackers are pretty cheap and are the single best investment a traveler can make. Just toss one in your suitcase. If your bag doesn't show up, you don't have to blindly trust the airline. You can open your phone and tell them, "My bag isn't lost, it's sitting over at Carousel 7, or even, "It's still at our layover airport in Amsterdam." This gives you all the power and puts pressure on the airline to find your bag fast. Finally, set yourself up for success. Most baggage errors happen during tight connections. When booking, try to get a non-stop flight. If you have to have a layover, give yourself at least 90 minutes. And when you're at the airport, check that the 3-letter airport code on the tag they put on your bag matches your final destination. Keep that little sticker receipt they give you until your bag is safely back in your hands. The days of just handing over your money to airlines are over. You are now equipped to navigate the world of airline fees like a pro. It all starts with embracing the power of the personal item, picking a great wonder bag, and mastering the art of packing. You know the rules, like the 80% rule and the power of solid toiletries. You know the clever hacks, like the duty-free diversion and the pillow ploy. And you know how to defend your luggage and track it anywhere in the world. Travel should be about freedom, not stress and surprise fees. Airlines have built a multi-billion-dollar business by counting on you not knowing these things. But now you do. You're not just a passenger anymore, you're a savvy traveler. So go forth, pack smart, travel light, and never pay baggage fees again. What's your best baggage fee avoidance hack? Share it in the comments below. Let's build a master list and help everyone travel smarter. If you want to see how I pack one of these wonder bags for a 10-day trip, check out this video right here. And don't forget to subscribe for more ways to make your travel cheaper and better. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.